cost, the cost of, and why the product's cost is also different, because there's other people out there in the market who are selling that product as well, and you want your product to be able to favorably, stand next to those products as well. So I've talked about the unique selling proposition. I also want to touch on something else which is really, really important, and that is you want to talk about who wants to buy your products. And I've talked about this in another video, but I want to talk about how you can help your customers choose whether to buy from you or whether to buy from somebody else. Okay, so in that respect, the most important thing is it something that they really want, or is it something that maybe they could just do without? So if you just think about, life in general, some of the things that we can do without are obvious, right? So for example, if you look in your wardrobe today and you open your wardrobe and maybe you look at the number of clothes that you have there, maybe you've got 10 skirts and 15 blouses, or 20 pairs of trousers and God knows how many pairs of shoes. So you want to ask yourself the question, do you really need all of those shoes, or is it just something that you really want to just collect? Okay, so being able to distinguish between what your customers really want and what they just maybe could do without is really important as well in determining how you position your product, your service, and what you're doing when you're selling it. Let me give another example of the difference between what you want and what you really need. So for example, as a mum, I've had a child, and when a child comes into the world, what's one of the first things that they do? That's right, they cry. And they cry because they've taken a huge breath of air into them, and that brings about the reflex of crying. So would you say air in that instance, or taking in that bit of oxygen, would you say it's a need or is it a want? Comment down below. Yes, okay, I agree there. So definitely it's a need, because without the air, actually, that child wouldn't be able to continue to survive, and it's really, really important for all of us to be able to breathe clean air, right? So the same applies to some of the products and services out there. Sometimes you want to try and make your products a kind of product that your customer might want to feel that they really, really need. And this isn't being deceptive, it's just being able to educate your customer and make them aware of some of those needs that maybe they didn't even know that they had before. And because of that, you can therefore position your product differently. And, it's a completely, it feels different when your advertising goes out into the world. It feels much different because people can then have a better chance of choosing what they really want, or what they don't want, or what they really need and what they don't really need. So there are different examples I could also give, in terms of what people really need and what people really don't need. But I'm going to go on to another topic of mine, which is something that is one of my favorites. And this topic it's all about concepts. So what is a concept? Let's have a look. So concepts are these little things which I just call sparks of the imagination. A concept is something that so many different brands are built on, and because so many different brands are built on concepts, it stands that brand apart. Okay, so if you think, for example, just take a minute or two to think about your favorite drink. Now, what is it about your favorite drink and the way it's sold, maybe online or within an advertisement or an ad? What is it about your favorite drink that makes you want to drink it? Comment below. Yes. So there are so many different concepts out there. I mean, it could be anything from a Martian coming in from outer space. Maybe that's something that, the copywriter on the brand thought about and has found a way to tie it in with that product or with that service. And anytime you think about that drink, actually, you're not thinking about the drink, you're thinking about the Martian who comes from outer space, that green, Martian that comes from outer space. Okay, another example, take a minute again. Think about your favorite restaurant. Yes, that favorite place that you love to go to eat. Comment below. Why do you think it is that restaurant of yours is your favorite? I mean, there are several. If you walk down the high street or any road in your neighborhood, you'd see several restaurants on the street, different names, different colors, different, a different cuisine, a different choice in terms of menu. But what is it about that particular restaurant you go to? What do you think it is that makes you want to go there and not somewhere else? Have a think for a minute and comment down below. So one of those, I'm not going to give any names now, but one of those restaurants that I can say would make you feel that you are somewhere else, even though you're in there, is a very popular brand that people go to. And it's not necessarily expensive, not necessarily, too luxurious, but it just has a feel around it. And whenever people think of a place to go, that's the place they want to go. And the reason behind it is because the copywriters on the account, the people who worked, on the marketing, all thought about what kind of a concept, what kind of an angle, or what kind of a hook should we give this product? How do we want to position it or push it out there in the marketplace? So comment below if you have if you can think of any specific hooks or angles or concepts that some of your favorite brands have been built on, and I'd love to hear your stories as well. And another thing you might want to do is just think for a moment, take a pause, and think about the reason you use maybe your particular phone. Why did you buy that particular phone? What is it that makes you continue to buy that phone, and even maybe perhaps go for an upgrade of the phone, maybe when you don't even need it, or maybe go and buy another phone or handset for a relative and maybe not buy a different handset. So think about these things, and all of these things are built on concept. So when I was writing copy, I remember as a advertising agency copywriter, I used to, concepts were things that came to me anywhere and anywhere. I mean, I could be on a bus, for example, or I could be walking through the park, I could be, just sitting down, and then all of a sudden an idea would come to me, and it would be that one idea that I could use to write, copy for. And there's a popular saying which goes, "Great minds think alike." So I've talked about one of the ads that I've written for, which was a brand where I had to come up with an idea which was to customize a brand. So instead of talking about that brand in terms of the hardware that was sold, it was a computer product, I came up with a different kind of concept to describe the idea of having customized attention from a product or service, a feel that you're more than just a customer, but you're actually somebody that we will look after. So there's so many different concepts that you can think about. I mean, a concept could be anything from, like I said, a piece of an object within the home, or it could even be something that hasn't even been thought of before. But the truth about concepts is that a lot of times they are thought about. There really isn't any need to kind of reinvent the wheel when it comes to concepts, because concepts can be used again and again, and you can use a concept in a different way every time you think about it.